I think I'm live. Yes. Hello. And it's session 5, and we are officially going through this workshop. And I really want to celebrate you because you're doing a great job. You're still here. And today it's a special session because this is where you connect the dots, and this is where you will see that you need a little bit of belief to do this work, because it's without we move nowhere. And that's why I am doing this work, because I want to give you the support, and I want to give you the possibility that really it works. If you do it correct way, you can be healthier, you can be happier, and you can lose weight. Hello everyone. Hello. So today we will talk about few things. I know the session is take one step at a time, and it's absolutely critical to take one step at a time. Every single time I see people want to do this, people want to do that, people want to do all different diet, and it's so overwhelming that they ended up doing nothing. So that's why whatever you say to yourself that you will start doing, always start with one thing. If it's drinking water every morning before when you wake up, that's the one thing that you will promise yourself to do, and you keep doing. If it's 10 minutes walk, or half an hour walk, or a 10 minutes jog, whatever movement you want to, as we talk about movement, how important it is, how it's critical. So all these things are super important. This workshop was focused on weight. And I never thought I will teach us something about weight, because of my background, and because of I struggle with weight all my life, and I never really want to follow any diets. But I see how if people following all my programs and what I teach, they losing weight as a side effect. So, and when I look what we're doing, it's exactly what the science showing us that we're supposed to be doing if we want to lose weight. So I want to, because I'm always more I'm always more focused on health, of course, because that's what, if we create health, we will eventually create as well the healthy way. That's why I always say, well, first try to get healthier, and then the weight will come naturally. But I want to tell you one story that really was my aha moment when I will start doing this work, because I was working in a busy practice, and I was seeing a lot of diabetic and pre-diabetic patients. And I really that was a time when I already have this food and health connection, nutrition and health connection. I was thanks to my own health issues, I was able to connect the dots between the gut microbiome, the insulin resistance, nutrition, and all that. So I start talking to people with my 10-minute slot. Here are the foods that probably will trigger inflammation. Here's the list that will you like anti-inflammatory list. And so when I was giving this list, yes and a no food, I had a patient, and it was a man. He came with his wife, and he was diabetic, and we quickly talked through, and he said, you know what, we were thinking about this, to doing it sometime, and I'm ready now. And I didn't realize that time what he said, that I know it's so important. He said, I am ready now. And without this, I'm ready now, you can join all sorts of things, but if you don't feel I'm ready now, and you really mean it, whatever you would like to try to do, you will always kind of go with the old flow. I'm not saying it's bad, it's not, it's just we going to the stages, and you are if you feel you almost there, it's wonderful, because it's just one little step when you will really be able to do the work. But what I want to tell you, that it takes some discipline in the beginning, not much. But I want to tell you the story about the man. So he left, this patient, and he came back after 6 months, and he was really I could not recognize him. He lost a lot of weight, and he came. I said, "Wow, you lost a lot of weight. Your diabetes is better." your blood pressure, you were able to really reduce the tablets. What did you do? And he said, well, I did exactly what you told me last time, to cut out the sugar, the processed food, and all the and refined carbohydrates. And I was sitting there, I'm thinking, oh my gosh, I was shocked, because this man, he changed his life, and in 6 months he was able to even improve his disease. And this is what I want for you. And that's why you can have all the knowledge in the world, and if you feel you're ready, you are ready to do this. And I just want to encourage you to really ask this question every morning: if you're ready to do that today. I'm ready to do this today. And just start with one day at a time, one step at a time. Because when you, this is how I start with the sugar. Really, I was so hooked on it. And we were living in Australia, and the time I had really huge cravings, and they had these macadamia nuts everywhere. And so I divided my day into the segments. So I said, okay, I'm not having sugar until 10 o'clock. And 10 o'clock, I said to myself, I'm not having sugar until 1 o'clock. And then 1 o'clock, I said to myself, I'm not having sugar at 4 o'clock. And always I would be ready with some snack food, obviously. So the macadamia was one of the really options that I was just eating all the time. And as I was going through the day, I said to myself at 4 o'clock, I'm not having any sweets until 6 o'clock. And 6 o'clock, when you have to discover what are the really very difficult moments for you in the day. We all have a different. Some people, they have really huge cravings in the morning, around lunchtime. Some people having difficulties in the afternoon, like the 3 p.m., the coffee time with some cookie. And some people having when they come home, when they finally sit on the couch and they put TV on, and then when they want something to eat and snack. So we all different. And so I divide my day into these segments, and then I basically went through this day with no sugar. And I did the same the day 2, and I did the same day 3. And before you know it, it was 1 week, and before I know it, it was two weeks, and then I finally broke it. But it takes some dedication in the beginning a little bit, because it's not your fault that you feel this way. It's not your fault, because the food company, they created this bliss point that makes us really hooked on the food, hooked on the processed food. There's a really magical combination of salt and sugar, when we just can't help, and we just really create this hormonal disbalance, and we just craving and eating it. So it's not your fault, but that's why you're here. So I can help you to really shift the view of things, and just feel better about this. So today I want to I tell you a few things as well about gut microbiome, because this we didn't talk about it at all, but it's such an important piece in your weight loss journey that I have to mention it. But when I just want to mention one thing before, because the people who are successfully graduated from the program that I'm running, they saying that it was not only the best thing they ever done, but really life-changing, because that's what happens. We can change for 1 week, we can change for, we can follow some diet, we can go for some class for 2 weeks, even for 3 months, people can change. But what I'm talking about is really completely shift the way of thinking and really do the transformation. When you feel joy, with the feeling that you will have with the new food, with the new habits, and because the body will work better, because we humans, we're not designed to eat processed food. And it's now in every grocery store, all these shelves in the middle. I never go there. I always go just around. Where is the produce? You always go around the shop, and that's where I shop. I never go inside. Even the pasta, I usually buy, either I make my own or I buy fresh one. But all the processed food that sits in the shelf really long time, they're in this compartment. So if you go in the shop, you go around. So in the beginning, there is a process of the produce usually. Then there is some meat and some fish, if you wish. And then there is the milk section and eggs. And then you just maybe some bakery or something that they have to change all the time, and then you go out and I pay. So it's very simple. This is like this little hint on the map how to go in supermarket. Never go in the lane inside in the because it's full with inflammatory food that will just make our body really sick. And as I said yesterday, I sent you email yesterday that I didn't believe 100% that to take actions. You don't need to believe either, and I didn't believe 100% either. I start visualizing how it would feel if my face would be better, but I didn't believe 100%. But I didn't think that it will work, and I didn't think that I'm capable of doing this. But I believe a little bit more that I didn't. And this 51%, the tiny bit, gets you past that no. So it will get you to take the first action steps that help you to make the scary step that you need to take. Because as I said in the beginning, if you don't create space in your life to take the action steps, to have the results, we don't move from the place. So that's why it's important. That's why it's important to do one little step after another. And so I'm really excited you are here, and I hope the sessions are helpful for you, and it will help you to do these scary steps that you need to take. So I'm happy for you. So I just want to. I had a few questions about the soda, which is if diet soda is good. Unfortunately, it is not, because there is in a diet soda there is artificial sweeteners, which we know that really has not good effect on a gut microbiome. So I would this is something we can talk, so you can schedule a call with me, but there are a few things that you can really do better. There is a great drink, kombucha, and I know few people that thanks to kombucha they were tapering off the soda. Or you can doing sparkling water with some flavors, like with strawberries, with mint and water goes really nicely together. Those will be something that for someone who really struggling with soda, it will be nice idea to really exchange. So instead of someone is saying that drinks 5 cans, so you say to yourself, okay, well, sometimes with these things you have to go cold turkey. But if you're drinking so much of the diet soda or any kind of soda, there's really already different problems I didn't talk about this time, and that's the sugar addiction. And that's when we already addict, like our metabolism is it's kind of twisted. And then we have to take a little bit different approach, and maybe even from the doctor, so you can have some medication to go over the side effects or the withdrawal symptoms, because they will be there. If it's such an amount of soda we have every day, we will definitely feel it when we will stop. But if you want to taper it down each day, or every second day you take 1 soda down, and you just add more of this sprinkling water, that would be great. So let's dive into the topics about the gas microbiome, which is my, I think this really transformed my life, because I, after eating so much of this sugary food, I was suffering, I think, bad. I'm sure I had leaky gut as well. So I want to tell you about the gut microbiome and leaky gut. So as we not focusing on this today, it's more on the masterclass, the Unlock Your Sugar Solution, when I'm talking about gut health, and I'm talking about leaky gut and about the sugar metabolism. This is more we talking about weight, but it's really it's not so far off. It's very connected. So we know that Hippocrates made a statement thousands of years ago that all diseases begin in the gut, and we just now able to confirm how right he was, and we still do nothing with it. And so you can imagine that in the inside our bellies we have this extensive intestinal lining, and it's covering more than 4,000 square feet of surface area. So it's a lot. If you unroll your intestine, it's really quite some surface area. And when it's working properly, when you this tube, when you open it, and you can see that there is a tight barrier that controls what gets absorbed into the bloodstream. So yes, it's all inside us, but if you think about it, if we eat food, it's basically still outside because it's inside in the intestine, if you in the tube. And what goes inside, that means that goes inside our body, in our bloodstream. And that's when we need to have really this barrier working tightly and controls really what goes in. Because if this is under control, we will die within seconds, because there's this very special system that can really, it's a special cells that are really very tight next to each other, so they ensure that good stays in and bad stays out. And when an unhealthy gut lining have large holes and allowing these digested particles to food and toxins and bags to really penetrate the tissue beneath it, so it goes to the blood, and it causes intestinal hyperpermeability. And this is what we don't want. We don't want this, because this will create inflammation. And this is where people might try whatever diets, but if they still have leaky gut, it will be very difficult to lose weight, because the body reacts to these foreign particles and produce immune antibodies, the pro-inflammatory cells, and to fight them off. And so this breeds this chronic inflammation, as well the food allergies and various health complications. So this is quite bad news, but the good news is that we have now understanding of the causes and obstacles, and we can do something about it to stop the cycle. So the research is booming, and what we know now, that it's not only that these leaky gut, as we call it, or in literature we call it intestinal permeability, it's not only affecting gastrointestinal conditions such as Crohn's disease or irritable bowel syndrome, but the leaky gut may cause problems somewhere else as well in the body. The arthritis, obesity, even mental illness, as well eyes, skin disease, asthma. So we now know that the gut health is connected to everything, as well to our weight. And so that's why I have to mention it today. And again, even if today's topic is one step at a time, if you will look at this from the perspective, maybe it's a lot of content, but we really won't just go and apply one thing. And I tell you more about it in a minute. Because if we're going from the processed food diet to the whole food diet, it can be really overwhelming. Some people might have difficulty to prepare this food. So I want to just encourage you that it's not that difficult, and with so few little tips, we are able to do that. And so that's why we talk about it today, because I feel it's a missing link. It's not only about calories, but it's about the quality nutrients. And that's why I want to really send this message to you, because we know already what are the triggers for leaky gut today. Among the most common ones, you can guess, it's of course sugar, and it's gluten, it's all processed food, it's certain medication, and it's alcohol, and any food that may cause allergies or sensitivity. So if for someone can be tomato, because they cannot tolerate the lectin, can be problematic, then it's tomato, you cannot have it. But usually, for example, you would know that already if you have problems with tomato or not. But initial step is really to take the food and remove it. So if you think they are inflammatory, and they really kind of will damage the gut flora. And so the thing, we always teach that as well in my programs. I teach the elimination diet at some point in the program, and that's basically taking out all these food that I just told you. So sugar, gluten, processed food, alcohol, as well corn, and dairy and eggs. Those are the main triggers for people, that if they take them all out and then for 1 week, and then they bring them back at one at a time, is very important. One at a time. There's a special sheet for it to do it properly. One at a time, and then people see how they react, because we are in such a low grade. Some people are in such a low grade. I was there too. I was in such a low grade inflammation. I thought it's my norm. I thought, yes, I'm fine. But then I just came out of it, and it's like, someone is standing on your foot, and you don't know after a while that someone is standing on your foot. That was, and that's what people describe very often. I thought I'm fine, but now I'm wonderful. So this is something that I see over and over again. And there are really some big triggers like sugar, obviously, and as well chemicals. It's so important to really not eat food that have chemicals on it. Like there is this a food that is really heavily sprayed with pesticides and herbicides. We have to be very careful what about the approach. And as well, gluten is problematic in many people, not only though for those who have celiac disease, but it's for a majority of us, because the scientist from Harvard, the professor Fasano, he showed that gluten causes transient leaky gut in all of us, So it's something that if we are on a health journey, if we want to improve weight, this is something that I would definitely take out completely for a certain time. Obviously, this is just for educational purposes only. I can't tell you what to do, but I just can tell you what I did, what my client did, and how they succeeded, and what the science saying. And that's basically this message what I'm telling you now. And so where the gluten is found, it's in wheat, it's in barley, it's in rye. And unfortunately, it has found itself in much of the food supply. So it's disguised in all the packaged food, and really feature in most pre-prepared dishes. So I remember when we did it was 2 years ago, I think, or 1 year last year, we did some gluten challenge, and people should find where gluten is, and the ladies, oh, it's in the salad dressing. So it's really in everywhere. And so I'm sure we are aware as well that gluten allergies, sensitivities, and intolerances are becoming really increasingly more common. And a gluten-free is a buzzword within the health community, but I would not like that you go from gluten grain to gluten-free grain. This is not what I mean gluten-free. Gluten-free means that you really go from the gluten, like pasta, bread, everything with gluten and flour, to vegetables. That's the transition I want to see, nutrient-dense food. Because if you go from gluten-rich cracker to rice cracker, it doesn't bring you much of benefits. And this is something that I see how many times people, buying all this processed food, and they are gluten-free, which is good, but it's still processed. And it doesn't bring you this is not the point. The point is that we have to eat all these phytonutrients, the phytochemicals in the vegetables and fruits, and really just create health with that, because food is medicine, and food is information that can create either inflammation or disease, or can help us create health. And so I see common mistakes with the gluten-free diet, so don't fall in that as well. But if you want to go really for gluten, there is rice, teff, or millet, or there is this the quinoa as well, and as well oats as well are gluten-free. That's as well. So, but the gluten is still the worst, and you can get gluten pass disease is pretty direct. So that's enough about gluten, and I want to tell you now what is the gut microbiome. So the microbiome in general. So bacteria live on our skin, live in the nose, in the ears, live everywhere. And so our human body is colonized with bacteria, and they are really everywhere. They live, but majority of them live in our gut. And really it affects all the body function, entire body function, and as well it influences our weight as well. And it's crucial to have we call it gas symbiosis. So it's good to have balance of good and bad bacteria. And if you have, the best is how you can see is to see your ancestor, mother and father. And if they were kind of on skinny or looking kind of lean, then you have high chance, if you even if you're not lean now, that you will have this predisposition to have a good bacteria, and to be more on the lean side than not. And if it's the other scenario, like it's my scenario, that all your ancestors are kind of a little bit obese, especially in the stomach area, then you most likely be as well having this predisposition to be obese. But so that's kind of the bad news. But the good news is you can change that. You don't need to be obese. And how you do that? Well, you will, first of all, you will, of course, there are many factors you can do. It's the food, movement, sleep, mindset, all that. But today I want to tell you about the food, because the food is the first thing that you have to start with. Because we know that if we have a bad bacteria, we call it gut dysbiosis. This can be source of inflammation, and not only in the gut but throughout the body, and increase the risk of developing chronic illnesses. And this can happen when we eat too much sugar, gluten, soda, fried food, and processed food. And this is when I see that even people counting calories, and they limit calories, but they still eating this kind of food, they can never keep the weight down, because the bacteria, they are luckily running the show in the body, but we have to have a good bacteria to run the show. And this bacteria loves all the vegetables. So when you will start feeding the good ones and create the gut symbiosis, you will lose eventually weight, and you will have it off. And really, I can tell you, it happened so many times. I have some people that it took really 3 months before they start losing weight. And by the way, it's not linear. We don't lose weight like this. We lose weight like this and like that, and like it really varies for every single person. But just we have to be just kind and let the body do the job. And so that's why I never wanted to focus on weight. but but I'm happy we're focusing this video on weight, because it's always, learn more stuff. And we learn this as well from experience. Experience were able to show that I said this before, but I maybe tell you because you were not here before, but experience were able to show that if you take lean and obese humans and take their feces into and transplant the bacteria into the mice, so and this bacteria, this mouse must be born in most sanitized world. So the mice has no bacteria, and they were able to make the mouse thinner and fatter depending on whose microbiome bacteria it got. So I think this is pretty impressive. So we know it works, and we know it by human as well. We will soon know very well if you will have the gut microbiome test, what's going on in your body, even without the doctor will not need to examine you. Of course, it's always good to examine you, but I'm exaggerating now. We can have this diagnosed from the door, when we can see what's going on in the body by the bacteria that are there, which is it's just incredible. And so I guess you have now understanding what to take out and remove from your daily life, and how to behave and what to take. I know it's everyday practice, and sometimes it's difficult. I understand. That's why I'm creating all these programs, so we can do it together, and I can support you, because I saw so many times, I've seen thousands of people who need to do this work, but only few are actually they succeeded, because we need support. We need the accountability, and we need some guiding light. And that's why I'm here. That's why I opening new class focusing on weight that starts in June. And that's why I want to invite you to do this work, because it's just, if you're ready, obviously. It's for those who are ready to do the work, and who are willing to take 1 hour a day to really transform their life, because it will be so worth it. And so how we can improve the gut microbiome, so we can really just improve it and then lose the weight. So there are a few things that I want to mention. Of course, there are supplements, and this is something that we still kind of looking for the common grounds. But we know now from a science, and as well from my own medical practice, that prebiotics and probiotics are very helpful as a food source, or as a supplement. Depends. The studies are a little bit depends what person, and depends really what study. But there was now a recent study from Stanford, and they were showing that fermented food are really the game changer. They were saying that, showing that the gut microbiome really improve with people who are doing daily sauerkraut, sauerkraut, yogurt, and kombucha, which is really these three things that majority of people never eat. We don't eat enough fermented food, and those are the probiotics. Those are the bacteria we need to not be inflamed, and we need these bacteria to be on the lean scale, because there are certain bacteria that just create and hold more of the pounds in the body. So we know that. And as well, digestive enzyme is something that I will definitely explore. So we are really breaking down the nutrients well. And the fiber from it, I will go always back to eating more vegetables. That's basically it. But there are different ways to do it. As I said, there are some the supplements, but I'm a little bit pessimistic with these supplements, because with the powders, because I don't want we go from the unhealthy process to healthy process. I don't think that will be a good idea. I think we should find a way how our ancestors did. It really worked well, because we didn't see these diseases 100 to 200 years ago. We didn't. That what we have now, the diabetes was a rare disease, especially the type 2. Obviously, type 1 was always there, but the type 2 was very rare disease. So this is something that we know it's from lifestyle and from food. As well, from really good is to drink and eat broth. So the meat stock, if you have a chicken, you put it in a pot and you cook it or 1 hour, and you put as well some onion, some carrots, some celery stick, and then you have fantastic, really collagen rich drink. There's all these amino acids that we need. Those are the building blocks that we need for really good structure and for the gut health. So it's something that I would do, and I do it very often. I always have pot at home in the fridge. And then we have turmeric. Turmeric is that some people swear on it. Some people, I know that they're doing tea every morning of the root, or they're using the powder as well. Then another one is L-glutamine. You have to try that. You have to ask your physician if you can use this. It's a supplement, but L-glutamine is as well. It's very important for gut health. And as well, quercetin. Quercetin is a very super nutrient, and that's in broccoli and all these cruciferous vegetables. And I'm taking now quercetin because I just didn't eat well. So if you know that you will not eat well, you can take some supplements. Again, ask your physician. I can't prescribe, but this is how important it is to not fall into this doing things same every single day, because we need some variety. We need diversity in what we're doing, even in supplementing and eating various vegetables. And so when your gut is really healthy, you can really improve your health and you can improve your weight. And that's why where I want to really change a little bit the mindset of people that they counting calories. Yes, we have to count calories, absolutely. It's not wrong, but I just want to give you much more message what's behind it, and we can do much more. And the calorie counting is really because the calorie counting only works if we are in the vacuum, and we're not. We know that this bacteria now last 10 years show us that they're doing magic in our bodies, and really the goal should be to sustain wellness with the whole foods and healthy lifestyle, because then this is the route that can lead us to healthy weight. And again, the health is journey, is no destination. This I want to tell you again and again. So I don't want that, we will have some bonus session tomorrow and over the weekend, and as well on Tuesday. And then until Tuesday, you can sign up for the program, and then the videos go down, and I will finish that you cannot sign up after Tuesday. So take advantage of this week. Schedule a call with me if you need to discuss something. I talked with some people this week already. I'm happy to see your faces and really talk, because this is how we can know each other. And this is how I opened this community, because I saw that it's need. Because we as a doctor, how much, I think how much you don't hear this from your doctor, because this is not something that we discuss with our patient on normal basis. If you're lucky, you have a good doctor, he'll tell you what to do and what to eat. But in general practice, we don't do that, because this is not mainstream yet, unfortunately. But we're getting there. But I don't want you to wait. And so, yes, if you're ready to do the work, please sign up for the program. This price is now so low, and it will be more from the next time. And so don't miss this window from this really good offer. And if you're not sure if this is for you, schedule a call with me and I help you. But if you need help with, really, if you don't know what to eat and you are confused, just this is a good point to join, because I'll help you with all of that. If you need to lose weight and you don't know what to do, I will help you with that. And if you are worried about, if you have, you don't want to develop diabetes, and you know that you have to lose this belly fat and you're always tired, this is great. I can help you with that. We can untangle this, and you can see how you feel much better within few months, because this change, it takes some few months for sure. It took me 10 months to heal my skin. And sometimes it takes, the studies usually, I see that people after 1 year, they're confident, and sometimes they have a periods with but if they compare where they were before, I know I told you before that I have one lady, and she's so, I think I said last time, I don't want to repeat myself, but I just love this because it's describe exactly what will happen with you. So she found old shopping list in her winter jacket that she was wearing the year before. And she looked at the list, and obviously it was like, food that she doesn't eat today. And she was shocked. And so this would happen when you do little changes day by day, and you don't realize how much actually you're doing, and how these little changes will lead to big things later on the way. So that's why the one step at a time can feel small, but it's big when you really keep going, and when you will just have the good direction and a good way. So this was from me today. I hope you had some good points from a gut microbiome. We want a good bacteria, because those good bacteria will keep us healthy and keep us in a good weight. And I know that you cannot completely change your gut microbiome. It's impossible. I will always have more of these bacteria that keep me heavier, and that's why I have to be careful. Otherwise, if I eat whatever I want and have ice cream every single week, I would be large. And so you have to find what is good for you, and this where the magic is. I can give you a template, I give you all this knowledge that I have, but the magic is that you find the way for yourself, how you feel good and where you want to be. Because some people, they tell me, well, they were eating eggs all their life, and say, well, eggs are fine, but what about maybe oats? Because oats, when you have them without the toppings, they will spike the blood sugar. But if you have it with toppings, with the flax seeds and hemp seeds, and all these nuts and sunflower seeds and pumpkin seeds, and then you top it with blueberries are really superfood. And when you have that, I have so many people telling me, well, I will not go back to my any other breakfast. This is my breakfast from now. So because I know, I love that too. And I know how people are happy with this, because it will satiate them for a long time, and will not make them hungry. But if you are diabetic, you have to be careful as well with oats, because as I said, it's carbohydrate, and we have to be careful with this. But definitely, if you need to lose weight, this is something that you can definitely have in your meals, and be really happy with that. Okay, so any questions? If again, you can go into the where you can go, right? You can go in the messenger and send me a message anytime. I I will be more than happy to answer it, because I really always want these weeks when we're doing this work. Either now we're focusing on weight in this workshop. I really want to be there for you and give you as much time and support and guidance that I can, so that you can make and create some action steps so you can move forward. Because it's important to keep moving. It's important to keep moving in a good direction. So I just want to be there for you. So if you have any questions, let me know. And don't forget, we have tomorrow bonus session, so be there. Hopefully, if everything goes well, I will be showing some snacks for the for outside now when we have this Memorial Weekend. So I can see if I can do something like that. All right, so take care of yourself, and I will see you tomorrow. Bye bye.